to be a part of those siloed approaches is like playing a game of whack-a-mole, right? Where you hit one mole, all the others pop up. You hit that one, all the others pop up.
So we will start tomorrow setting up the room. We can get into the room at 1 o'clock.
May I ask you now to grab your chair and come closer?
In order to see who we are, please stand up.
We try with this event, we try to do something new.
That we all stay in our bodies, stay connected to the earth, feel the back of ourselves.
Almost like a laboratory, do something that is necessary today in so many places.
Enjoy the experience, enjoy the warmth and the love that we will share in this room.
Deepening our thinking from just thinking on a head level towards thinking with the heart.
So welcome, deep, deep welcome.
And so we are now joined by 380 fellow participants. So maybe for a moment we just say hi to the rest of us. Yeah. One question that brings us together here now is, what really is it that's going on? We are not coming together here out of context. So we are part of a larger stream in history of many people before us. And it has to do with the rise of civil society.
And what is Occupy all about? It's all about what goes on in the world caused by corporate greed. The governments of the world run by the rich.
No, I could do 60 research. This is going to be like that.
But we're here and pushing it. We have to be here because things are not getting better.
Hope we see you there!
Hope we see you there!
What does that mean for us, kind of for the small beginnings we all have created in the different contexts we are in?
Let's just imagine what kind of bank would you like to have? Honest.
Natura is a 42-year-old company. It was founded 1969, pretty much grounded on philosophical, spiritual values. And I think it is one of the major aspects of the success of Natura today.
For me, it was always about energy. So when I had the right energy, I could do a lot of things. And when the group has energy, you know, then things happen very naturally.
Cosmetics not treating or masking beauty, but being an in-depth vehicle for self-transformation, to allowing women to connect mind, body, and spirit.
When customers would come into the store, don't tell them that looks good just to make the sale. You know, work with them, serve them, help them understand, you know, who they are, and you know, find the things that work for them. So, and tell the truth in the work environment.
We never see our consultants as an order taker. We always see them first as a woman, a human being with their own aspiration and needs, and then because they love our products, they spread the message and they sell it.
So Triodos Bank is one of those banks who does the savings and the lending part in that way.
Now, what does that signify? It signifies change.
In my own personal story, I was born into a conservative military family with an Air Force colonel as a father who later became a defense contractor.
But as I was able to make out through the noise, what I understood was that on national television they announced that Zine El Abidine Ben Ali, the president of Tunisia, had boarded his jet and fled the country.
And I had this remembrance of being a 7-year-old and going to school and doing a book report, or a report on the life cycle of a tree. And I went and I sat under my grandmother's tree under a weeping willow and with my back against the trunk, and I felt the life of that tree. And I was so proud of what I'd created, this report I'd done. It was something like 4 pages long, and I really understood that tree and its life. And I got an F, and I never got an F before. And it was because she said I completely misunderstood the assignment. I'm supposed to talk about the life cycle of the tree. First it becomes a seed, and then it grows. And
yesterday, something magical happened. As you might have heard, there was an election in Tunisia, the first free democratic election in Tunisia's history.
So this is our culture, and I was part of it, and I was taught that we have one journey, one path, that we go to school, then we go to college, and then we go to graduate school, and we get married and have some children, and we make as much money as we can, and we get as big a house as we can, and when we retire, we get to travel and have some fun.
So find a new table with 4 people that you don't know yet. The question is, what touched or surprised you? How does all this connect with my work? What I feel most deeply about.
So this is one of those like little interludes, you know, like lunch is not quite here yet, and they said, Peter, would you take a few minutes? I never know exactly what to do with these. But then Otto says, oh, tell them about China. So, okay, I'm going to say a few things, and I'm going to do my best to connect them. So much of what's needed in the world right now is a kind of a relearning or a reawakening to elements of our traditional wisdom teachings. The ancients who wished to illustrate illustrious virtue throughout the world first ordered well their own states. Wishing to order well their states, they first harmonized their families. Wishing to harmonize their families, they first cultivated their persons. Wishing to cultivate their persons, they first rectified their hearts. Wishing to rectify their hearts, they first sought to be sincere in their thoughts. Wishing to be sincere in their thoughts, they first extended to the utmost their awareness. Such extension of awareness lay in the investigation of the underlying matrix of mind and matter. The underlying matrix of mind and matter being investigated, awareness becomes complete. Awareness being complete, thoughts then become sincere. Thoughts being sincere, hearts then become rectified. Hearts being rectified, persons then become cultivated. Persons being cultivated, families then become harmonized. Families being harmonized, states then become rightly governed. States being rightly governed, everything under heaven then comes into balance. This is 2,500 years old. Yeah, I know.
So I'm Jorman. Hey, I'm a 23-year-old community organizer from the Bronx. But I was born in the Dominican Republic. Before that, my father had left, so the responsibility of being my father was shared between my mom and morning cartoons of valor, bravery, and overcoming adversity and stuff like that. I did not graduate high school, and when I was 14, I joined a community organization called Sisters and Brothers United. And now I am the coordinator, so to speak, of a economic development initiative in the Bronx, because we're seen as, you know, unintelligent, unworthy, you know, not good enough to really hold our own. But at the very same time, it's the Bronx mothers, fathers, and youth that organize themselves in hometown associations and other informal economic configurations that send money back home in foreign countries to support the economy. We build hospitals, roads, schools. So I want to end with, right? I want to end with talking about that unique thing that we're doing, bringing those people together, really comes out of this will of just wanting to do something different and get it right this time.
is a combination of alertness, engagement. It's not zoning out. It's very engaged and awake. Living together, the body and the mind, there's quite a bit, not only of presence, we say about people, oh, they have a lot of presence, but there's also a lot of awareness. And when there are a lot of us like this, a lot of body minds here, it makes a field of awareness. Right? It makes an awareness field, and it makes a sense of a social body. This is sort of capacity building for using the method that we're calling social presencing theater, and a way of making visible in the social field sort of what's there and what's emerging.
I think in our group, most of us recognize the importance of touch, either being touched or touching as a shifting point, as a shifting moment.
I was Mother Earth, and I think the whole group experience here was very profound. But I started in the center, feeling just bountiful and serene, and someone reached over and gave a hand, and then that brought tears to my eyes.
It was a stunning experience for us to realize this incredible impact of the marginalization on the rest of us.
The conclusion for me is that it takes a long time to work out these complicated relationships.
I was looking at small business, but I couldn't move because everybody was holding me up. Couldn't get there.
We now move into the prototyping stage of our process here.
It's rapid prototyping because we have a very little amount of time to do that. So here's your idea. Reclaiming humanity. That's a huge idea.
So our group was about transforming business and creating workplaces where people can feel supported, people can feel loved.
So our challenge is going to be how do we make this actionable, right?
We also build a shelter. And the shelter is the shelter for money, so that you can follow where your money is being invested in this neighborhood.
First thing is getting the idea out of your head, and so you can start to share it.
We came up with basically just one question. Who supports businesses that create illness when ones that create well-being exist? And if somebody asks me that, I'm going to be like, well, I'm not going to be an idiot that supports illness.
Create something new. Create something that's key to advancing your idea.
And then, of course, we have on Wednesdays our presencing journeys out into the community to see and learn from the businesses and really learn how hard it is to make cheese. And then you appreciate it more, and you want to pay a little extra and support more cheese farmers in your area.
You'll be amazed when you get into the flow of building how the ideas come up differently, and you know, a choice of materials might actually alter the way you think about something, and that's exactly what we're trying to go for. We're trying to get you out of your heads.
What I learned most from this was that at first I was very worried about whether my question would be addressed right, because people started making things and building, and so the process was just, and I just decided to let go, and then everything was built, and then we started asking questions. What is it exactly? What are we making? And then these beautiful things came out. So that's what I got from this.
What we'd like to do is take the next 5 or 6 minutes just to hear from the collective some of the themes or issues or questions that are rising to the surface.
What really touched me in this little group was that we were really creative in just a little time.
People were really moved by the stories from Natura and from Eileen Fisher about working from love.
It was great. It was great that there is such a space of opportunity if a couple of people sit together and talk together.
We're really moved by the realization that we are the bank. There is not somebody else. We are the system. And so we wondered what would happen if we would start to bank with love.
Yeah, I heard a sentence like, I have been doing this kind of work for 27 years. I was looking for others. I was looking for my family, for my tribe, for my community, and I found it. It's like coming home, yeah? And being able to do this work together.
The last thing that is left is integration. Everything that came so far is now put together in the final stage.
This last moment really has to do with how to support and stay connected.
There's something deep in me that believes that we all exist already knowing each other.
I guess you learn more about yourself when you start learning about others.
Prototypes that we saw with reinventing banking, transforming business, and then kind of the educational transformation, that basically is the agenda.
I think this kind of meeting is very important for all of us because I at least, understand that my beliefs could be true.
I just don't know what to say. Thank you for... Thank you.
What you really need to do is get all your friends, you know, that are responsible for all those other modes, be in a group and you all hit it at the same time, then you win the game, you resolve the problem, you answer the question.